Hi Grandpa Lee, it's Ellie, your second eldest granddaughter, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about one of my most cherished memories with you. Before I even get to that, one of my favorite things about you and about our relationship is that I always get to tell people about how cool my grandfather is. Not only talking about like all the random cool things you did in your career, but also about how fun you are and the funny jokes you send in emails and um, you're very irreverent, which I really love. And it's something that I sometimes strive to be too, because I think too much reverence sometimes is, stifling. In that vein, one of my favorite memories I think really exemplifies that, and it's from when I was 13, and Jill and Arthur had flown me out to California for my bat mitzvah trip, and I was spending half of the week with you and Sally up in the cabin in Big Bear. And we were doing all sorts of different things that week, and one day while we were at lunch, I mentioned the fact that you had let my dad drive when he was maybe like 10 years old or something, and that he had hit a tree. And never one to be easily deterred, I guess, you said that I was older than 10 and more responsible, and therefore if I wanted to give it a try, that I could drive. We went to a less populated shopping center after that, and you guys let me start out in the parking lot, and I would have actually been okay with just that, but you guys decided that I was doing well enough, and so you let me drive all over, and I drove through town very slowly, and I drove even back from town to the cabin. And so we got back from town, and the whole time that I'm driving, you and Sally are making a big fuss about how scary of a driver I am, and we get back and you say, oh my god, the dogs want to get out of the car, they need to escape your scary driving, and the dogs always got out of the car once we got back and ran up the mountain ahead, and you guys both got out to open the gate so the car could get through. And so you guys get out, and I'm alone in the car, and I inch the car forward through, and you guys waved me forward, and I inched it through a little bit more, and you waved me forward, and I inched it through a little bit more, and you waved me forward again, and I just assumed that maybe you guys wanted me to go up without you. You'd been making such a big deal about how scary of a driver I was, and so I kept on going up the hill, and it was all going great. Until I took a turn and I went off the dirt road into the dirt ditch, and then proceeded to, in my attempt to get out of the ditch, gun the gas a little bit too much and get stuck in the ditch. At which point by then you guys were running up behind me yelling at me to stop, and eventually after trying to instruct me through it, you got me out of the car. Sally and I went inside, and you got the car out of the ditch and drove it up the road the rest of the way. Did I mention it started to snow sometime during all of this? Because it started to snow sometime during all of this. So even after that, you guys mercilessly made fun of me, but you didn't, yell at me or tell me that I hadn't done a good job or anything like that. You just said maybe we should wait a couple of years until you drive for real. And you always still let me try things out and encouraged me to, pursue whatever I wanted to pursue. And I loved being able to tell that story. I secretly loved, although ostensibly hated, or not ostensibly, I don't know, acted like I hated when my dad told that story at my bat mitzvah. But I always cherished the fact that I had such a cool grandfather and have such a cool grandfather, and that you let me do things like that. And I hope that when I am looking back on my life and I'm a grandparent one day, I can be the cool grandparent that lets the kids do fun things like that. So I love you, and I hope you have a very happy Father's Day. Bye.